Now, there is no doubt about it that ever since September 10th, when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, we have seen a major shift, not just within the film industry, but also within the music industry, where a lot of those representing both of those industries are either going on a constant anti-Trump messaging campaign and dragging Charlie Kirk into the middle of it all, or literally just going off at all the Charlie Kirk supporters out there, saying downright offensive and terrible things about them. And the latest has a lot to do with Katy Perry. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, Katy Perry, there's a lot of things going on with her right now. Ever since her split with Orlando Bloom, she's now reportedly dating Justin Trudeau, the former Prime Minister of Canada. I don't know if you guys knew that, but this could very well be exactly why she's beginning to act so unhinged and really saying just downright weird things about her views of the country, of the United States, about, of course, Charlie Kirk supporters now, to the point where it's really making you question yourself, what is going on with Katy Perry? Now, one thing about Katy Perry right now is that we know that her Lifetime's tour in specific US markets are really not working out that well and are falling far below previous projections when it comes to ticket sales. However, on top of everything here, we know one thing about Katy Perry for sure is that she's definitely been acting quite different ever since her whole Blue Origin spaceflight backlash back in April of this year that really went on for like a full month when she acted so crazy and out of whack when she came back down to earth, quote unquote, and just kept on using that basically as a way to boost her overall recognition for the Lifetime's tour. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Now, with the Charlie Kirk assassination still causing many celebrities to come forward and say such downright offensive things about not just him, but also about his supporters, one major development going on now involves more to do with Katy Perry, who decided to lash out at Charlie Kirk supporters and to drag her anti-Trump agenda within her argument as well to make matters worse. This comes in the midst of Perry's failing Lifetime's tour in certain US markets, where ticket sales are below previous projections as we previously discussed. Now, Katy delivered the following. What is wrong with our country? What is wrong with our people and their souls? What happened last month is no excuse to go acting like a child by pushing Trump's policies that have only contributed to a serious division in our country. Mr. Kirk's fans and supporters are only encouraging Mr. Trump's behavior, who has done nothing beneficial to our once great country under Biden. What happened to Charlie surely should have never happened, but the way his supporters are acting right now is irresponsible, inflammatory, and tarnishing our society. They want to blame the left, and maybe they should be looking at themselves in the mirror to wonder what they look like blaming others. The hate is too strong right now in this country to liberals who only ask for peace and freedom of speech. Two things that have been stripped away from our country. It is a sin for Kirk supporters to act such a way to go blaming others for the violence and the lack of freedom that we have right now in our country. Something that President Trump is allowing to happen on a day-by-day basis. All the proof that we need is what he tried to do with Jimmy Kimmel and the tariffs that he recently placed on foreign-made films, preventing movies from being made outside of the US properly. And, of course, Kirk supporters to support all of that. You are only encouraging Trump's reckless acts that are making our country poorer, and I never wish violence on anyone, but both Mr. Trump and Mr. Kirk's views on how the country should be run are disastrous to our society, and especially for women. As a proud feminist and activist, I am proud to make it known to the world that it's Trump and Kirk supporters that destroy the greatest thing of all in show business, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Something that they are seemingly afraid of, to the point that this administration had to force so many studios to do away with something that only created a fair and balanced system to include everyone in the arts. Now, guys, let me just stop right there for one moment about Katy Perry. Now, before, she was going off about how basically there's no more freedom of speech and how that's just stripped away. Yet at the same exact time, she's going on her long-winded Trump and Charlie Kirk supporter rant. And that really just goes to show you that it's nothing more than an act coming from a lot of these celebrities, right? They just say what they have to say, and they want to create a talking point that would actually back up their claims. And to say that freedom of speech is dead, and while they're actually saying what they have to say, that just goes to show you that it's so basically hypocritical coming from Katy Perry as well. I mean, she's done quite the opposite before in the past where, you know, everything, when you're looking at her ticket sales, for example, when you're looking at the Lifetimes tour, for example, she, in between specific songs, goes on and on about her Trump messaging and stuff like that, and that just goes to show you that there really is freedom of speech, alright? But there's no freedom of consequence, that's for sure. People have a right to walk away from people that they don't agree with if they say such downright offensive things out there, or just outright stupid things, mind you. Now, she goes on to say the following: Trump and Kirk supporters are also supporting misogynistic views coming from this presidency. Shame on all of you for acting such a way. This is exactly why our country is stuck the way that it is right now, and I can only cross my fingers that things turn around next year for the better. Now, of course, she's referring to the midterms. She's referring to 2026, right around November there, when a lot of these celebrities, a lot of those, you know, in Hollywood are really placing all bets on things to change next year. And I think that's why some of them have been keeping quiet. Not all of them, but some of them have been keeping quiet because they do have a level of hope that Trump and his policies will basically go away. That's how they actually view it in 2026. But again, this just goes to show you the total, you know, reckless behavior coming from Katy Perry. She's the one to call Kirk supporters and Trump supporters to have reckless behavior. I think it's this that is contributing to the division. I think it's this type of behavior that's only making things worse, because you have people that need to stay in their lane, people that really need to just stick to what they do as a performer, as a singer, as an actor, a director, a writer, comedian, whatever it may be in show business. Stick to that and that only. Don't get engaged in politics. Don't actually believe that you're a political commentator or anything like that. So she goes on to conclude, things just need to shape up and go back to the state of normalcy, because the country that we are living in right now is not normal. This is all reckless behavior coming from both supporters. Of course, she's talking about Kirk and Trump supporters. Now, again, I think a lot of this is coming from the fact that she's dating Justin Trudeau. Alright? And we know that there's a lot of images of them dating each other, having conversations with each other at dinner. So the claims of them dating are pretty strong right now, and it's quite interesting to see her sudden shift in tone, at a very sharp decline, by the way, just saying such idiotic things out there. Now, we know that this is indeed impacting her Lifetimes tour ticket sales. There's no question about that. Specific US markets are really not doing that well at all when it comes to the Lifetimes tour. I believe it ends this December. Correct me if I'm wrong. Her tour is almost over. It may bleed into January, who knows, but it's scheduled to end by the end of this year. And then after that, she is going to work on a song about her experience in space, quote unquote, about her time with Blue Origin. She wants to get that all done and wrapped up by 2026. That'll be interesting to see exactly how she actually reacts to the backlash surrounding that. But overall, I would like to hear what everyone has to say about Katy Perry, about all these different celebrities, just going off at Charlie Kirk supporters, dragging Trump into the middle of this conversation, and more. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.